and boom, the PR transmissions will soon. We'll try to push drugs to keep us all dumbed down and hope that they will never see the truth around. Another promise, another scene, another package lie to keep us trapped in greed. Another green bells wrapped around our minds, an endless red tape to keep the truth confined. They will not force us. They will stop degrading us. They will not control us. We will be victorious.
Hello, everybody. I am so excited to have the queen herself back again, Miss Reverend Annie Chambers. You all know her and love her. She comes from Baltimore area, and I'm so glad to have her back. We are going to be talking about East Palestine, and we were going to do the she was going to join us on the fundraiser, and unfortunately she wasn't feeling well, and now she is back in action, so we're so excited to have her. Just a little background: she is a Black Panther. She is a revolutionary. She is still doing mutual aid every day. She is, I hate to use the word hero, but she is a hero to so many. And Matt, thank you so much on the back end. Matt, if you want to bring Reverend Annie in, thank you so much. Hi, Reverend Annie. Thank you so much for joining. Can you hear me okay? Can you hear me? Can you hear me okay, Reverend?
I can hear a little bit, not much. And my television is way up.
Can you turn the computer volume up? Oh, we lost her. She'll come back in. Tech issues as always. It happens with everyone. Typically it's me though. But yeah, Reverend Annie, she is such a spitfire. She's been in this fight for decades. She did the March on Washington, friends with Malcolm, friends with Martin Luther King Jr., friends with Fred Hampton, friends with Fidel Castro, you name it. She is just such a revolutionary. So I always love having her. And just as an update, I'm sure you guys have seen me talk about it, but Biden, wonderful Biden, went to East Palestine on Friday, and it was so eventful. Everything's so much better. Everything's changed. The residents are living large now. I really didn't expect a difference, but it's even worse than we expected, if that's possible. I'll be doing a huge announcement soon. I can't tonight because I'm waiting on the graphic for the person I'm doing something with. But I'm actually going back to East Palestine, even though I just went 2 weeks ago. I'm going back on March 1st because I am organizing something pretty big. So I'll be very excited to announce that. Matt, is she in the back room?
No, she dropped off.
Okay. We'll wait for her to try to get back in.
Okay.
She might be using her TV because she said her TV was loud.
Yeah.
Unless she's watching TV.
It sounds like there's somebody watching TV in the background.
Oh my god, that's so funny.
Need to get her a USB headset or something.
Yeah. Well, Reverend Annie doesn't do a lot of interviews, but this is probably, God, at least the 5th time I've had her on my show, and she's done several marches and rallies I've organized as well. She's just, she's very accessible, but for some reason, like, people just, I don't know if they don't know how to get a hold of her or what, but she's amazing. But yeah, so Matt will be joining me in East Palestine again as well. It'll be my 4th trip. I'm super excited. I've been able to purchase a lot of things with the donations thus far. I've been sending out air filters, baby diapers, baby clothes, lots of water filters, just everything, you name it, because they've been completely disregarded by their local, state, and federal government.
Yep, they've been abandoned.
Absolutely. Matt, you've been with me all 3 times I've gone. You've gotten to know some of the residents as well. So
yeah, it's really weird seeing footage of protests or whatever, and like recognizing people, knowing their names now. It's pretty cool. Didn't expect that.
Is, but don't you think, like, I mean, I'm an empath, so this, it doesn't surprise me, but don't you think it's so difficult when you think about East Palestine, but now you put faces to it. You hear their voices, you see their faces, you replay these conversations you've had with these people, and it humanizes them, and you become that much more furious that this is happening to them. And that's why I'm going back so soon. I'm just checking my DM for Ian to see if he's having issues getting back in. But that's why I'm going back so soon, trying to fix it. Okay. So yeah, I mean, that's why I want to go back so soon, and I certainly don't have the money, but I'm...
Looks like she's back in. Let me add her in.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Yay! So do you want to, I gave the audience a bit of an introduction, but do you want to just kind of introduce yourself?
Yes, I'm Reverend Annie Chambers, activist and organizer out of Baltimore, Maryland. That's fine. Yes.
So, as you know, Biden went to East Palestine on Friday. They've been begging him for over a year. He's had a declaration of disaster sitting on his desk for over 7 months, which would give them help with FEMA, because they're all still, even some are bathing in bottled water still, but they're all still drinking it and cooking in it. They are not having their homes tested. They're not having their soil tested. They're not given health care. They have nothing, absolutely nothing. So it depends on, people doing mutual aid. Thank you again so much to the viewers who donated to make me to give me the ability to help the community, but it's incredible to see the local, state, and federal government just completely abandon them, and then here we are over a year later. So, Reverend Annie, I mean, you've been an activist for decades. I'm sure you've seen this before. But what's it like for you when you see these injustices? You see these people who desperately need help, and you see the government completely abandoning them.
Well, it is hard to see, and I want more people, and especially clergy and people who so call themselves activists to be up in arms, because we should be screaming from the top of our voice that this is a atrocity. That these it's like saying you go and die, and then you want to show us something that's happening in Israel and holler about how bad that is, and you got people in your very own country dying. You
Yeah.
know, you nobody, for as I'm concerned, and I've been asking other legislators, why haven't this been addressed in Congress, in the House, in the Senate, everywhere? This should be addressed. These are American citizens who have been basically, homes have been basically taken from them, who can't go back. And I was looking at a report today. The few that did go back is in bad shape,
Yeah.
and they are dead to death. So we gonna have to stand up and fight. And so I appreciate the fundraising and 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 everyone who donated. That was wonderful. But we got to do it again, and we got to go to Washington and demand help and support for our brothers and sisters that are there. Because if we don't, nobody else will.
You're so right. And the crazy thing is, one of the residents went to DC to the White House. She had an appointment and she brought over 21,000 signatures on a petition to the White House. And a few days later, Biden announced after over a year he's coming, but at the request of the mayor. So it didn't matter. He came because the mayor asked. So I think that says a lot.
Yes, it does. He's saying it because of the mayor, but what about the people? That's what I'm saying. What about the people? And when he got there, he didn't do a damn thing. Let's just be truthful about it. He did nothing. He didn't, say we're gonna clean up the soil, we're gonna give people decent water, we're gonna do none of these things. He did none of those things. So, that in itself is a big threat. That in
Absolutely.
itself is like a big letdown, not a threat, but a letdown, because he did nothing. I didn't hear anything he said concrete that he would do. Nobody really cares to look at an old man. He could have brought something.
Yeah.
He could have brought something.
Absolutely. And for those who didn't see it, Matt, do you want to show the clip of the press conference Biden gave? And just to give people a heads up, he only met with 3 residents, and they were pre-selected, and so he didn't meet with the community. He met with the EPA, who you guys know I whistle blew and got an hour and a half tape on exposing them. So he met with them before the press conference. He didn't meet with any residents before it or anything. So he just came out and gave this, just ridiculous canned press conference about you know, how wonderful everything is. So yeah, Matt, if you want to roll this.
Good afternoon, folks. Mayor Conway, thank you for the welcome, but more importantly, for your leadership. I really mean it. We talked outside there. Thank you, sir. You've been through hell. And I also want to thank the EPA administrator here with me, EPA Administrator Regan, as well. We just concluded a briefing about the Herculean efforts, and that's not a hyperbole, the Herculean efforts that were made in the year since this tragedy. But what's happening in the morning, the evening of, and the next day, and the weeks following is amazing. It's absolutely amazing what this community rose to. You know, I want to thank the folks of East Palestine to know, I want them to understand that we're not going home no matter what till this job is done. And it's not done yet. There's a lot more to do. The vast majority has been done. But we're going to stay to the very end. Every need is met. And we continue to hold Norfolk Southern accountable, make sure they make your community whole now and in the future. And what they do not make whole, what they cannot make whole, what isn't made, the government will make whole. We have an obligation. We have an obligation. I can already see this derailment won't define you. It just, it defines you in a different way. Your courage, your resilience to this community, and the compassion that you've shown for all your fellow citizens. Let me be clear. While there are acts of God, this was an act of greed that was 100% preventable. Let me say it again. An act of greed that was 100% preventable. We were pushing the railroads to take more precautions, to deal with braking, to deal with a whole range of things that were not dealt with. Norfolk Southern failed its responsibility. We know multi-million-dollar railroad companies transporting toxic chemicals have a responsibility to do it safely. And again, Norfolk Southern failed. My administration was on the ground within hours, working closely with the governor, the mayor, the senators, the House members, community leaders, to make sure you have everything you need. My administration ordered Norfolk Southern to clean up the mess it created and ensure it was done right. That includes an executive order I signed to continue our priority to hold Norfolk Southern fully accountable for this disaster and any long-term effects that are able to be identified as time goes on. Not just here, but also in Darlington, Pennsylvania, where I just visited an hour or so ago. Working with the state, we've tested the air, the water, the soil quality, deployed teams of health experts, provided emergency loans for local businesses. But it's not done yet. There's more to do. Today, I'm announcing the award of 6 National Institutes of Health grants to some of America's best research universities to study the short and long-term impacts of what happened here. That includes just north of here, Case Western University. So you'll have a top researcher with you as long as you need, as long as it has to go on. I also want to restate my support for the bipartisan rail safety bill. Senator Brown, Senator Vance, and the congressman from Pennsylvania and others require stronger protective measures when trains are carrying hazardous waste. Storage tank cars. We argued about this for years. They should be stronger. They should be able to survive crashes without exploding. Undated brakes that meet higher safety standards. The fact of the matter is there was a lot of discussion ahead of time before this occurred about the safety of the braking systems of many of these railroads, trains. More staffing on trains so that there are more people to respond immediately to a crash and to do so much more in relation to the safety of the transportation. And it's important that the Senate follow the House and pass the tax reform bill, which makes sure that folks who don't get hit with a surprise tax bill, for compensation owed them by the railroad. That's not taxable income to them. We've got to make sure that that occurs, that no one is taxed for anything that is reimbursed or received from Norfolk Southern. It's not right. I support this tax reform bill, and we got to get it done. All told, we have done in 1 year what would typically take many years, and we're going to keep going. Like I said, your compassion and resilience of the leadership of this community and the people of this community, the courage of your firefighters, law enforcement officers, first responders who run into danger to save others, they deserve the care and resources we owe them to be followed and their health needs followed as well. Because that's what we do. It doesn't matter if you're a Democrat or Republican or independent. What matters is we're all Americans. Everyone. We look out for one another. We leave no one behind, and we come back stronger than before. That's what you're doing here. That's what's happening right here in this community. That's what's going on downtown in your parks as well. Your downtown's reopened and the parks are reopened. Students were frustrated. Opposing schools wouldn't travel here for sports events.
Matt, you
But now
can
you're
stop
playing
it
home
because
games.
it gets a little long, but yeah, I mean, there's so many problems with that. And I just want to remind everyone that he's talking about the railroad safety, and the railroad strikers in Pittsburgh tried to tell us all Pittsburgh's like 40 minutes from East Palestine, and he told them to go back to work. And they were trying to tell us of these exact things that caused this crash. And also, he mentioned the taxes, and why that is because residents have received 1099s from Norfolk Southern, because when they were reimbursed for a hotel stay or anything like that, they have now been given tax forms to be taxed on those things that they were that they had to fight tooth and nail to even get reimbursed for. Reverend Annie, what's your take on that speech?
Well, I think it should be known that Joe Biden is lying. I mean, it ain't no way to sugarcoat it. A lie is a lie. The man is lying, and he's standing there lying in front of America. And the people there know the truth. We know the truth. You people don't want their children even to come there to participate, like in sports or anything else, because you don't want your child to die. You don't want to die. People who own property there can't go back and really live because that's how bad it is. The air quality, the soil quality, the water. So who wants to live there? I think if they wanted to really, really help the people, and that's what Joe Biden should really say, just buy everybody out. And
Exactly.
so they can go start anew somewhere else. Because that is going to take years if they get it cleaned up. It's going to take years. Who would want to visit there?
Right.
Who
I get
wants
sick.
to visit? Right.
Mhm.
I mean, I hear people say, one lady said she went back just to get some stuff out of her house, and she got seriously ill.
Yeah.
So she didn't even know what she wanted. This stuff was in her home.
Right.
So the truth of the matter is, you really want to say you're helping the people, buy them out
Yep.
and let them be able to start somewhere else. Because that's not a healthy place. That's like when they dropped the bomb in 1942 and the people couldn't live there anymore, right? And so the people that's there cannot live there anymore. And so we should be sending out a cry to buy these people out. Stop the lies. Buy them out, Joe Biden.
Yep.
Stop the lies. That should be one of it. Everywhere he go, campaigning.
Yep.
Everywhere he go, campaigning. That should be one of the cries.
Absolutely.
Palestine, right. You're lying. Stop the lies and buy those people out. Give them a chance for a future. Other than that, you have condemned them and their children and their future children, because you know it's going to affect any woman of childbearing age.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely. And, people are so desperate to get out that they're literally trying to sell their homes for $99,000. I mean, that's pennies for a house. And nobody's buying it because it's so bad.
They know what the property is like. I mean, poor people ain't going to say, you could say to the homeless right now, we will give you, no, that's all right. Let me stay on the street because I don't need to go there. I no more die there. You understand?
Right.
So they need to just buy the people out.
And Norfolk Southern, and Norfolk Southern is putting in a $25 million park on contaminated land, which would buy out every single resident.
Who is it going to help? What the hell they need a park for?
PR.
When you can't even live in your house. When you who gonna carry their child to the park? The guy.
Yeah.
Come on. But I said to people, too often we have gotten very, very complacent. We allow them to push us over, and that's what they're doing. They're really pushing people over, and I don't know everybody there, but I did talk to 2 people that live there, and I said, then it's up to you to start a fight.
Yep.
Minister Malcolm said, if you see a good fight, get in it. This is a good fight. This is a good fight. And everybody in America should be in this fight. Everybody in America could demand that there be justice. There's no justice there.
Absolutely. And we, Matt, if you want to show the picture, I'm sure you've seen the fake sip of the water in Flint. Well, Biden chose to do that in East Palestine. I don't even believe it was their water, to be honest, but all the news, it's so bad. All the news was making this big deal about, he met with residents. Nobody knows who any of those people are. They're not residents.
No, tell him bring some of his grandchildren and give him some of the water. Bring some of his grandchildren there and give him the water.
Exactly.
Give him the same water that he's telling those people to get their children and their grandchildren. He's a liar.
The worst part about it is his son, Bo, who died of cancer, got that cancer from one of those chemicals that they are exposed to.
Right. See, those are the things that we need to be put out to the public. But I would, if I was in front of him, I'd have said, where's your grandchild? Give us some of him or her some of that water. Let them drink.
Exactly.
And then I can feed you.
Yep.
You see, because How do we know where he got his water from? Probably out of Deer Park's bottle and poured it in there and then said it was the water. Don't trust him.
No way.
Who's going to? And he's looking in my face, lying at me.
Yeah.
So that's a fight that we have to continue to fight and take on. That's a fight that everybody must take on. And
Absolutely.
also must take on and support that whole community as much as possible with whatever we can.
And Matt, why don't you show the other video? These are some of my friends who did not get to speak with Biden, which was, like I said, he only spoke with 3 people and they were pre-selected. So this is some of the people as the huge motorcade was leaving. So you didn't meet with them.
Because that's the truth. They always can find them a handful of flunkies.
Mm-hmm.
They always can find a handful of flunkies. In everything they do, they can find them. They say, we're going to throw you a crumb. Okay? So they can find in every, I've been organizing honey now for over 63 years of my life. And let me tell you something. They can always find them some flunkies. They can find them some flunkies because there are people that do not have it in their heart to care about others.
Yep.
I remember we used to get sold out. I'm sorry. I'm still thinking about the housing thing. But we used to get sold out back in the election days for paint and wine. They would give the people a paint and wine to vote the way they wanted. And we get sold out for a little or nothing. And that's still going on till today. So I think what really, Joy, would really need to happen is there need to be a real march, a real demonstration And when I say real, that was a real demonstration. But I mean massive of people asking that the president, the elected officials, everybody buy out the whole
Absolutely.
state. Just buy it out. It is no more good. I'll
Yeah.
be dead when the time, because I'm 83 now. When that land ever, if it ever gets better again, if it ever gets better, you know, nobody shouldn't be made to live there. And
Yeah.
that's all have to American citizens.
Well, one of the things that they're doing, Norfolk Southern is actually taking the contaminated water and recycling it and bringing it back. That cost millions of dollars
Yes.
and it's still not clean. So I don't understand the
Who
point.
wants it? That's what I'm saying. All that money, buy the people out. And
Yeah.
that's what we should be fighting for. Anybody that look at the whole situation, who looks at this story, should be able to say, buy those people out. Move them out of there.
Yeah.
Move them out.
Mm.
Because you know, you might even have clothing you can't wear anymore. That, you know, because of debris getting everything. You know, they find out about asbestos and black lung got coal miners, families dying from what the coal miner did. Now they didn't go in the mine, but because they brought it home. That's the way this is now.
Right.
This is the way it is now. And then we want to know what's wrong with the world and the children of the day. They got everything in their system. And we contaminating the earth.
And also there's a place called Libby, Montana, where there was asbestos in the air. So there's a piece in Obamacare 1881A that gave the residents Medicare for life. So East Palestine is eligible for this. But Biden won't do that. And people are coming up with um, cancerous tumors. People are coming up with things on their lungs. People are bleeding out their ears. People have chemical burns on them from the water. There's people are fainting, they're having seizures, all of these things, and they have no health care.
No. And which I believe health care should be free anyway. But these people definitely deserve health care and it should be for life. You know, and they
Absolutely.
children can hurt it because whatever's wrong with me as a mother, that affects the child that I carry. That's going to affect what's in my bloodstream is in my child's bloodstream.
Sure.
See? So we, you know, again, they need to just buy everybody out, follow them with the health care because it's the humane thing to do,
Exactly.
you know.
Exactly.
But when you're playing politics with people's lives, that's a terrible thing. You're playing with people's lives.
Exactly. And the fear is it's already been over a year. If something was going to happen, wouldn't it have happened already? As far as help? I mean, I don't
They have
I
had
think that's
plenty
why
of time.
mhm. I think that's why Biden waited so long. He's like, "Oh, it'll go away." But I'd be really surprised if he wasn't sick from coming Friday because I had a bloody nose, I was lightheaded, like it happens every time you go there. And it's been over a year. So I'd be, especially at his age and the fact that he's already just not all there, I'd be surprised if he didn't get sick that day. But he's so convinced, he doesn't want to know that anything's wrong.
No, he know that there is something wrong. Don't give him. He
Right.
ain't. He
That's
old, but he
right.
ain't. He is an old goat, but he ain't stupid. I'm old. I got good sense. I tell people all the time, don't even think that I don't know. He knows. But
Yeah.
that is the thought of the rich powers that be. That they can sometimes when people tell me stuff Donald Trump said, I fall out laughing. Because that's his thought. That is his thought. That because he has this money, because he have riches, that he have all the power. But Joey, I say to people all the time, I'm so glad there's a higher power. And Joe Biden, he is just as guilty as the railroad.
Yeah.
That government that allowed him to come there and do that, he's just as guilty as the railroad. The elected officials that were there and did not speak out, did not bring the people out, and the man that he speak with those people and see how they are suffering is just as guilty as the railroad.
Absolutely.
Everybody in this holds the brain. I don't care if you're a little council person. You fight. You fight for your people. That's what you get elected for. And when people like Joe Biden and the mayor and the governor and all the liars, then you stand with the people you represent, because that's what you was elected for. You stand with them and fight. And so
Yeah.
everybody that did not do that is just as guilty as the railroad. And they all gonna pay. They will all pay. Because it ain't no way that they can allow that's that's like killing a whole town, whole city of people. You know what I'm saying? That's like just killing them. And not just shooting them down, but killing them slowly.
Yeah.
Because if you went there for that little bit of time and got a headache and a nosebleed, what do you think happens to the poor people that's got to live there? What do you think happened to the little children whose lungs and kidneys and liver have not even developed fully? And this chemical is already there. What the infant babies, children still in their mother wombs. All of this is affecting the whole community. And we should stand up and fight. Stop the lies and buy them out.
Yeah.
That should be the
Absolutely.
cry. Stop the lying and buy them out. Anytime Joe Biden make a speech, that should be on front line.
Yeah.
Stop the lies and buy them out. That's what we should say. That's the main one of the main things. And the other thing is we should be able to support the people there as much as possible with any resources that we can get hold to help them because they certainly need it. They certainly need
Absolutely.
it at a time like this. You know, if they bring water in from everywhere, you know, you know, but support them getting out of there. Because You know, like you said, they're trying to sell the houses for pennies. Nobody wants it.
Yeah.
Even shrewd business people know it's going to take years if it ever get cleaned up. It's going to take years. So
Yeah.
that's a bad investment. So the
Absolutely.
railroad and the federal government have that responsibility to buy those people out.
Definitely. And after I've spoken to so many residents since Friday who are just so heartbroken that, they were so desperate they actually had a little hope, even though they can't stand Biden. But I understand. And they were so heartbroken. So I just decided, even though I was just there, I'm going back a fourth time on March 1st. And I'm holding an event for them to let all their voices be heard, because it's not fair that they weren't heard. So maybe it's not the president, but I do have a very, very, very special guest coming. I just haven't announced yet, but they're going to get their chance.
All right, that's good. That's
So
good.
I do also want to ask you, coming up on the 10th, or excuse me, the 2nd, um, People's Party, or excuse me, the Poor People's Campaign, they are doing an event all across the country. They're going to do marches in all the cities. Are you familiar with that? Can you speak to that?
Yeah, I'm familiar. I got the email. I got all the little stuff in the mail. Yes, I'm familiar with it, and I will not be a part of it. Again, unless why ain't they said anything about Palestine? Uh, why haven't loudmouth Barbara, who can take on poor peoples, why haven't he said something?
That's a really great point.
You understand? Why ain't he said something? But besides that, um, the Poor People's Campaign all around the country is being boycotted by lots of people now because we don't see the Poor People's Campaign. It should be called the Pimping Campaign. We don't see it as a campaign that's, first of all, there's really no poor people real involved. He needs some more money, and he needs to work for the Democratic Party right now. It's a get out the vote campaign.
Yep.
That's what and these are not things I'm just saying to you. I've been saying them, and I've said them openly, and other people have said the same thing. It's a get out the vote campaign now for Joe Biden.
It is.
That's what it is. It's not about poor people. It's not addressing poor people's issues. And more people are seeing that. And so many people, when they come into the city or town or wherever, have demonstrated against them. Detroit wouldn't even allow him to speak. And you can't keep the pimping days is over. Let's face it. Jesse and them got the crust of that, and Allen get that much, but he got some. But I'm shocked when I'm talking about, and I'm talking about Jesse Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, they don't pimp enough for people. And the Poor People's Campaign, Reverend Barbara, and I've said this to people who talk to me about Reverend Barbara. I said, Reverend Barbara is living with greed. Now, I won't say that Reverend Barbara was not called to do what he's supposed to be doing, and that's fighting for people. Nobody that articulate or that gifted could do that unless they were called. But Reverend Barber took deals that was offered to Martin Luther King, who turned it down because he knew it wasn't right. He took deals that was offered to Minister Malcolm, who turned it down because he knew it wasn't right, because they were truly fighting for people and the Pope of all races. But William Barber is fighting for William Barber and how he can stack his pocket, and it's getting pretty fat off of running around making money, because he now supposed to be the silencer for not just the Pope, but especially the black Pope. You see, and it's a disgrace and a shame, because I can remember the very first Pope People's Campaign and what Dr. King really wanted to do before they killed him, because I was a part of it. And I worked hard and diligently in help organizing and bringing people to the Pope People's Campaign to be involved, and we was fighting. So it has turned into a democratic circus where it's only benefiting the Democratic Party. That's what it should be. Get out and vote for the Democrats.
Yep.
But many people won't be involved that were involved from the beginning when Reverend Barber started, and he talked to us, and we believed him and respected him. He has lost that respect. And many people, not just Reverend Chambers, but many people do not believe him anymore, nor respect him for what he has done. You never stop being a minister. Once you take on that cloth, you're always a minister. You may even fall by the wayside, but you know in your mind, I'm a minister. For someone to say, well, I don't want to do that anymore, I'm retired. And I'm going over here and do my book and teach and all. You can't do that. And then I'll make, big speeches and get big honorariums and stuff like that. That's not what you're called to do. So Reverend Barber, I is sinning himself. He condemned his own self. He really is. So a lot of people, you watch and see how many people be out there that's going to be involved. It used to be you didn't have standing, walking room to even walk in the demonstration. You won't have that now. You won't have it because people know what he's about.
I noticed on the promos, I noticed I was thinking about going, and now I'm going to East Palestine anyway, but I was thinking about going, and then I saw another promo that said, "We're marching to the polls." And I'm like, oh, nope, done, not, nope. It's either about humanity or it's about politics. It's, no.
It's the Democratic Party. It's about the Democratic Party.
Mm-hmm.
The Pope People's Campaign, we asked Reverend Barber from the very beginning, was any of this, was the Pope People's Campaign ever going to get swallowed up in any politics? And he lied to our face. I was standing there, Judge. I was standing there. He said no. I asked him again. He said, oh no, Reverend, no, this is about the people. But all I have ever seen is the Pope People's Campaign pushing people in the Democratic Party. pushing black folks, poor folks, to vote for Democrats who have not benefited us. Because Joe Biden ain't did nothing for us. And I said in a what they call it, a blue state, that I catch hell in. They tearing down all their houses, public housing. Taxes that's nomical in Baltimore City, and where the poorest people at in the state of Maryland, which is one of the richest states in this country. So Baltimore City is a sham. And so why would I want to say I support a party that care nothing about me?
Yep.
That cares nothing that do make everything they do in this city that I live in and in this state. I see the hurt poor and blacks. And so, why would I even want to be bothered with the Democratic Party?
Right.
Oh, not that I'm going to vote for the Republican Party. Thank God there's a few other people running, that I can vote for. Or else I would just set this one out with prayer.
Mm-hmm.
But it sure can't be voting for, old Sleepy Joe, no, old Ike Head, President um, Trump. But we gotta, we gotta get that message out to people, because people are saying, well, it's the difference between two evils, and which one is the worst, Reverend? That's what I get asked. I got
Yep.
asked that by my own children. I had two of my sons to ask me, we gotta vote. I had one of my sons told me I didn't have a choice but to vote for Joe Biden so that Donald Trump don't get in. I had to remind him, do you remember one time your mother was a part of the Green Party? Do you remember one time your mother introduced you to some libertarians and some other parties too? So look at those people. You see, that's the thing. The Democrats and Republicans fear that they have control over the votes. More and more, we got to step out from both parties and vote to show them they don't have control. We need a third of both parties here in America or more. I don't care. May the best party win. But right now, either way, we catch hell. Either party. But that's what this old people's thing is all about.
Yeah, absolutely. I
So
always love talking to you. You nail it every time. You nail it. What is something you want to say to the people of East Palestine?
well, I want the people of East Palestine to pick this slogan up. Stop the lies and buy us out. Stop the lies and buy us out. That's one thing. And the other thing I want to say is I have great respect for them, because you can see that there are people there fighting, trying to, fight for what's just to them and what's right. And I hope that what happens is that other people from all around this country join they fight. That's a fight well worth fighting. That's a good fight. We need to get into it. And we need to, at some point, help them get to DC, and not just the people of Palestine, not just them, but people from all over this country.
Yeah.
Stand with them, because truly, truly, it hurts when you see what has happened to American citizens, and then we want to talk about justice. We ain't got no justice,
No.
and the damn site don't have no freedom. So, you know, I'm want them to continue to fight, continue to battle, and my prayers and my good thoughts are with them, and anything I can do to help, I would be willing to do
Thank you so, so much
it.
for joining. You're always amazing to talk to. Where can people find you? You have a website, right?
Yes, Ian. Oh God, don't tell me I
Hi,
lost him.
Ian.
Don't tell me I lost him. I had him on the phone so that he could keep up with stuff. But cause I don't, we got a organization called We Stand Up for All. It's on the web. It's right there. obcommunity.network. Okay. Okay. obcommunity.network. Yeah. Okay. And it's We Stand Up for All. Please contact us. We're fighting very, very hard for people, and as I said, we're a new organization that because this organization will be fighting for people such as the people in Palestine, that we want to be able to support them. And any way that we can, Joy, please let us know.
Thank you so, so much. You and Ian, um, you are amazing. And I'm going to send this to the residents of East Palestine so they can watch and they know Reverend Annie is fighting for them, and you are a powerhouse.
Thank you, thank you. Yes.
Well, thank you so much. Much love. Take care.
Okay, thank you, God. Oh, yes. Free Junior Lasan.
Yes,
Free,
yes,
free
yes, yes.
Junior Lasan. If we can talk about how Russia killed somebody, America is killing Julius, and if he gets to this country, they will kill him. So free
Absolutely.
Julius Lasan.
Free Assange. Absolutely. Take care, everyone. Thank you for watching. Smash the like button and subscribe.
Love you.
Love you too.
God bless.